welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Watering Hole. Episode 31 already, Justin.
So they say.
Where does the time go? Time goes fast. Well,
what
guys,
have we accomplished in the last 31 weeks? Anything exciting? I feel like
I got my new water hole built, and that thing's working like a champ. So I accomplished a lot. I feel really good about my water hole this year. And we're kind of in a droughty year this year. And
we are.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, they're saying maybe some pop-up storms this afternoon and tomorrow, but I don't know.
I hope.
I don't know.
It's
what the heck's going on here? What is the problem?
I don't know. I used to thought Colorado had the problems. I mean, when I was spending all that time kind of heading out there and biking and hanging out and seeing all those fires firsthand.
Eating granola.
I don't know about eating granola,
Grateful Dead, chilling out.
No, that's not exactly my style. But I don't know, Czar. I mean, it is, dude, it's, oh man, my beans look like crap. Some of my food plots aren't looking good. It is dry.
Well, they're saying maybe rain tonight, tomorrow.
I hope we get it.
Because this weekend and into next week, mid-90s. We went from like a cool, cold spring to holy crap.
My buddy Craig was...
your buddy Craig or your son?
Craig Hildebrand. No, not my buddy.
I was like, he's just your buddy. He's not your son anymore.
Their relationship has developed.
That relationship has changed significantly since he's been home the last couple of days. No, he was out seal coating my driveway, and I was standing there. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I was just sweating. Like my back. I mean, it's just like, where did this just heat wave just like, bam, just hit us? But thank goodness this last weekend we did not have that heat at the get-together. We had a great time seeing all of our teammates, spreading the love, trying to change things up for you YouTube fans, trying to keep up with the million people who have videos on the internet. But we've got some great ideas, so some big changes to come ahead. We actually might see a video from Justin here, I heard, in the weeks coming up, which would be pretty amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing an update from Justin from last year. I've been in
31 episodes of The Watering Hole. How much more do people need
Justin,
of me?
the podcast is the podcast. They want to see you in a tree stand eating your granola and actually... what is your favorite snack?
Dude, if you eat too much... Have you ever eaten too much granola? Get a little bit too much fiber? Ooh, it's a real thing.
You mean with loose stools?
Yes, Todd.
Yeah, dude. I've been taking magnesium for this for these leg cramps, trying to make sure that I'm getting enough electrolytes for when I'm bike riding.
Isn't that what make bows out of? Magnesium?
I think that's a little different.
No.
Is it different?
It's exactly the same thing.
I mean, there's only one magnesium, right? I mean, maybe
I guess,
forms.
I'm shaving up bows and eating them. They're limbs. Just shaving up
No,
and
it's the risers.
The risers, sorry. The risers.
New Truth Archery, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think. Didn't we just do an arc, or is that arc not hit yet?
I don't know.
So we can get down that path in a minute. But it was a great weekend. I don't know where the hell. I don't know what just happened there. We just went from freaking magnesium, you eating too much fiber, granola, tree stands, updates from Justin.
I was going to say this one time. I don't know what happened, but we bought at band camp.
Thank you, Todd.
This one time at band camp, somehow I obtained a very large bag of granola. It might have been a Costco purchase, and I was like sitting on the couch just watching something, and it was really good granola, and I ate way too much of it. And I was like, man, I just ate a lot of granola sitting here. Yeah. And then it happened.
Oh, no.
Then it happened.
Just what? Just
the next day. Was just like, whew. It's a lot of trips to the bathroom.
All right, let's get into some hunting stuff.
So I don't eat too much granola. That's the moral of my story.
Got it. But, yeah, we're going to be done with that. We're done. Too much talk like that. Plus, I have a feeling later in this conversation... more talk like that comes up.
Really? Why? We don't have to.
Even these comments, we're just going to skip that one.
Making you talk about
That's true,
your
but the
poops,
comments
Todd.
are fun. I always think reading the comments are funny. But great weekend. Tethrd came out. A lot of people came out to the club, tried out some saddles. Justin, I know we sent out that email list to the entire Coon Creek group, but I was shocked with the number of members of mine that thought
fellow hunters.
Yes, Justin, that really...
Maybe not bow hunters, though? Is that the problem?
No, well, I mean, we are an upland pheasant hunting club. So, I mean, I could see where they could... I could see where they could maybe get misaligned a little bit.
Let's just say.
But they didn't look at the whole email because clearly there were no horses in...
Right. We sent out an email to the members of the hunt club where the Tethrd Teach Train was taking place to let
Yes.
everybody know, hey, everybody, there is a saddle hunting Teach Train event going on at the hunt club this weekend. You are more than welcome to come out. And some folks misinterpreted
Did come
that
out.
in thinking that you were going to learn how to hunt from a horse saddle on top of a horse while said horse was alive and moving. Like we were Native Americans and we were going to be just running through the fields, although they didn't use saddles. So I guess we're the white man.
It's the modernized version of that is what maybe they had in mind.
Yes. Which I thought was funny.
I
A little
thought it was-
funny, right?
Yes, it was.
Hey, where's the horses? This is kind of funny.
Dude, I had 3 of them.
Did they come together? Was it one group?
I'm not. Listen, we're just gonna
were
leave
they
it there.
3
No,
separate
I'm not. I'm out.
individuals?
I'm gonna leave it just as it is.
Well, I hope when they got there, they weren't too disappointed that we didn't have any horses for them to ride around.
I don't even know what to think. We had pictures. I mean, I'm not sure.
People don't read.
Yeah,
We're not really big into details anymore here in 2025.
had that.
We're more
conversation.
into just headlines and then getting mad.
But it was a great event. It was fun. Always learning different little things. You know, I haven't taken time to play with that R.A.D system that you and I were talking about the other day. I never really took the time to do that. I was kind of using hooks and carabiners and different things the times that I've saddle hunted to kind of hold my gear on. But dude, that R.A.D system is pretty cool. I just think it's kind of ingenious. I almost feel like I want to use it in other areas, whether it even be for something off your backpack or whatever. I kind of like it. It's cool.
Yeah. No,
It's just a neat system. If you haven't looked into that, Justin's going to do a whole video on it. I just decided because I think it's cool.
me.
Yeah, why not? I like making.
Why
do
can't
work.
you do it?
Because I'm going to have you do it because you're more of the saddle guy. And
But you're the ones over here that's
all right,
saying
then
how awesome it is. and how
we'll
much you
do a
wanna use it.
combined video on all the little trip.
I'm still involved. though.
We're keeping you involved, Czar.
Can I just be in the shadows directing you?
No, we're going to do this one together. Okay.
We're going to tie ourselves to each other.
Did you learn
using
anything
a
new?
R.A.D
Did
button.
you see anything new, exciting, cool? I mean, I know one thing you might talk about, but
What?
I don't want to say it. I'll let you just talk first.
No, I did not. I mean, we know about everything already. We're insiders, Todd. So I didn't learn anything new per se.
I think playing with the saw was kind of fun. I actually was able to cut down that maple tree that was tearing apart
the
the
Tethrd
trailer.
Saw. Yeah, the Sabr Saw. Mm-hmm. Coming soon, by the way. Yeah, but we already saw it at ATA.
But we didn't get to use it. I mean, I really used it. I mean, I cut down some pretty big limbs. That was all
I
on
did
the
not
trailer.
get to.
Oh, you didn't see
cut
that video?
down anything.
Oh, no, I actually hooked it up, and there were some big limbs that were all sitting on top of their trailer. So I'm like, hey, let's do this. We filmed it. We'll throw the video up. But, I mean, dude, it cut like butter. It worked perfect. I think for guys that are truly looking to have, you know, it's not even necessarily for the guy who's maybe going out and saddle hunting and needs to trim stuff up. Dude, I've been in those situations just with a stand that I haven't trimmed recently or whatever, and you get there
Sure.
like, what the are you kidding me? Like,
Or,
it falls right in
yeah.
front of the scrape. It's like, how is this possible?
So, like, for me, I do a lot of my stand work in the winter and early spring before it gets hot and the bugs come out. But, I mean, there's always stuff that's going to grow up. You know, so I either have to make a second trip back, which is usually a much, quicker trip.
Lighter
which I'm
duty.
usually doing in August or September, or I just wing it, show up to go hunting in October and hope everything is good. But being able to have a handsaw that you can use then as a pole saw if you need to would be the ultimate scenario for a case like that where you're like, hey, I either haven't been here since the spring or maybe even since last year.
Yeah.
So it'll be certainly handy to keep in your pack. Like, and it's one of those things where you may not need the pole saw, version. You may not use it
Right.
as a pole saw often. It may only be once a year, but you are going to absolutely be glad that you had that option when you need it. Because we've all been in those
Totally.
situations where you're like, crap, there's that one brand. I just can't
well, dude, how
quite
about
get to it.
And how about the times when you've been on the edge of your stand too? tightening
Oh my God,
up
are
your
you kidding
tighten
me?
up,
Yeah.
and you're
I'm being held by my harness.
yes, and then that's not smart. It's like dumb as
Why? I got a harness on.
I know, but it's really not what you want to be doing. I mean, dude, just having that
Life's
would solve
not
it.
about what you want, Todd. It's about what you got to do to get the job done sometimes. But buy a Sabr Saw when they are available. It was supposed to be today, but it's not.
No, gosh darn
We
it.
got held up. We got delayed a little bit, so we're waiting on an ETA. Hopefully, maybe the next week, something like that. Next week.
Dude, bifocals are just so crazy.
What I do like about those Tethrd Teach and Train events, is being able to talk with other guys that saddle hunt and get their take on things, how they pack their stuff, how they use different pieces of gear, what height they put their tethers at, or how long they run their bridge, or, the foot placement and movement to get around the tree for certain shots. And, it is saddle hunting is so unique, I guess, in that way, and that there's so much gear and so many different ways to do things. And I love, like Mike Fitzgerald had his tethered pack that he keeps his platform in because he runs the big platform. So he uses that pack that they make, and then he showed me how he attaches it onto his Mystery Ranch treehouse with these little bungees. And it worked. I was like, dude, that actually works really nice. And it just slides right down in there versus having to use lashing straps or something to keep it in place. So just little things like that. Talking to Ernie at Tethrd, like he was showing me how he carries his climbing sticks on his backpack, which he carries them a little bit up higher than I carry. I usually lash mine to the bottom of my pack. He puts his on the back up a little bit higher. But like he said, he's also a little shorter and with shorter legs. So he found that if he puts it underneath, that sometimes it's either getting caught or he's hitting him with his legs or something like that. So it just worked better for him. But I was like, yeah, that makes complete sense. And I'm thinking forward to this fall, like, yeah, I would try that for sure one time. The other thing I like about it too is because, dude, it wasn't very long ago that you and I were fledgling little saddle hunters, right? We didn't know what the hell we were doing. I remember I was watching YouTube
Dude, I'm still learning.
and
I mean, I'm not
all
going
this
to
stuff.
lie. I'm still learning. I mean, I think that's what makes it fun. Is
yeah.
You're just always tweaking. I mean, I think it's the tweaking part of anything that makes it fun.
Sure, honing in your system.
Totally.
But what I like about it now is I feel like I'm on the other side. The first time we went to those teaching trains, I remember standing there and asking the guys questions. And now here I find myself, 5 years later or whatever it is, up in a saddle, showing other people that have never saddle hunted, like how I do it, how I carry my ropes, what I carry, and guys are like, well, do you wear your saddle in or do you pack it in? And hey, how high do you know how to put your climbing sticks and how much distance in between your climbing sticks? So it's a lot of the little tips and tricks that I've picked up through the years that, I can now like tell guys that are just trying to get into saddle hunting, which was pretty cool.
It is cool. And again, I like you said, I mean, there's just so many different ways to do things. That, like, it may achieve the same thing, but it's just neat to see, like you said with Mike Fitzgerald, just how people do things. You're like, oh man, I never even thought of that. Like there's just all these little cool things.
So what do you keep in this pocket, or how do you arrange this? And it's kind of the same thing with like our bino harnesses. Everybody does them a little bit differently.
But you're always looking at everybody else.
And how they've got it rigged up, and how they have their little milkweed pouch, or what they carry in it, or stuff. I remember the first time I saw Kurt with his knife, like on there. He had that cold steel knife in the orange scabbard.
I stole that idea. I do.
I did too.
It's the greatest thing in the world. It's just right there. You got it.
I was like, oh man, I never even thought of that. That's freaking genius. So. Anyways, that was a good event. Hopefully we do more in the future. If Tethrd is ever doing a teach and train event in your guys' area, I would highly recommend going to it. Yeah. It's just a good time. It's a good community of people. Even if you don't use Tethrd stuff, like they don't care. Like you could be a saddle hunter, you use other brands, like nobody cares. You can still show up, talk saddles, check out the gear. A lot of guys like to bring their gear and like kind of like show it and talk with other dudes. I remember, so I was talking to Ernie, and I know he said before him and Greg started Tethrd, there used to be like a group of saddle hunters that would get together once a year for like a 2 or 3 day hunt, I think is what it was, somewhere on some public ground. And one of the days would just be like a show and tell, like where everybody would like get their gear out and show
this is how I do it.
Yeah. Which is really cool, because I'm sure a lot of the ideas that we're seeing like on the market today for products probably were born out of like that show and tell event, because that's before saddle hunting was really as popular and commercially accessible as it is now. So I don't know. Pretty cool stuff.
I agree.
All right, let's move on to talking about it's not officially summer yet. Todd, you got a
Dude.
birthday coming up, dude. Your
Dude,
birthday
it's
is
coming up
this
quick.
weekend, right? Saturday? Saturday is your birthday.
21st. Yes.
So everybody make sure you wish Todd a happy birthday. He's 49 again. Congratulations.
I'm just stuck there.
Yeah, that's all right. So TG's got a big B-Day this weekend, which is always the official kickoff to summer, right? Is your birthday the first
June
day of summer?
21st is the first day of
So it's
summer.
technically still spring. So summertime.
It felt like summer out there.
It sure
was
feels like
94
summer.
degrees. It was like,
Yeah, no doubt.
See, this is the weather where I'm like, I am glad I did all my prep work.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm just out, because this is the type of weather, man, you don't want to be out there.
Mm-hmm. So, Ben was asking the other day, like, do you do any specific summertime scouting, or do we just let our cameras do the work for us? My answer was very simple. Cameras do the work for me during the summer. And honestly, I don't even know that I consider it scouting as much as I just consider it taking inventory of deer and looking at deer pictures, because I'm not sure that I've ever gotten any sort of real actionable intelligence during the summer that's helped me or would help me kill a deer, other than just knowing the deer is there.
Yeah, I think one thing that happens for me, on my properties, like when I'm driving around on my tractors doing things,
Okay.
you just inheritably start getting information where
Sure.
you pop does out of. It's like, oh, that's weird. It's like the third time that's happened there. What is
Yeah.
it about that spot? Because it wasn't like
like.
that the last 2 years, whatever. So I think things like that can happen. Again, is that like me going out and I'm actually setting up and I'm scouting and I'm planning for this? No. But I think because I'm able to be on the property and I'm doing different things and those things are happening, then I think, you can definitely learn a lot from those situations, because it's not just a one-off, it's a multiple time in kind of a thing.
Sure. And I think that's probably one of the most, for me anyways, beneficial and important pieces of data is when you see something more than once. Because I hate making decisions in the hunting world based on like something I saw one time.
Saw a buck over there.
Yeah, so now I got to get over there.
Yeah.
And you also hate to be the guy who sees it a couple times and doesn't move, and then you're like, I should have moved, and it's still happening over there, but by the time I get there, maybe it's not happening anymore. But I never like to make rash decisions of like, oh, I saw this thing happen this one time. And then make that movement. But when you start to form that pattern, that's where I think that comes in handy. That's where, like, you and I have talked a lot about like the old time-lapse trail cameras that aren't really available the way that they used to be. I mean, there were, those old PlotWatchers were great.
Dude, that was back in the day, dude, that was a go-to camera for me. I mean,
100%. I loved mine. And that was never about like getting pictures of a specific deer or trying to identify something. That was a big picture.
All flow.
Big picture pattern. Yes, the flow of traffic.
Dude, I learned so much from PlotWatchers.
I know.
Oh my gosh, Justin.
And you can still set your cameras now on time-lapse mode. It's just a lot more tedious to go through.
Oh, dude, you got to sit there and hold it down, and your eyes just start to.
PlotWatcher was great because it made a video.
It made that whole
For anybody
video.
that didn't use one, it was the only purpose of the camera was to be time-lapse. It didn't have a flash.
Yeah.
It didn't do videos. It wasn't cellular. It was literally a time-lapse camera. You could set it to be like only from this time to this time, or go all day long as it was light out, because it didn't do it at dark. It was only during the day. But what it did is it took all those images, compressed them into a video file that you could watch.
I loved it,
right?
dude.
And then it also, like, it was pretty smart because at
I
the
don't think I
time,
have one
it
to
would
show
fast
people.
forward to clips that had movement. So it would skip like dead
Come on in,
time.
Ben.
Young Ben's coming in.
Dude, he's bringing our Coke, dude. Lou
our
from
Coke.
Stealth Strips brought us Coke that actually has the word dude on it. Look at that. I didn't open it up yet, but check that out. Sorry for the interruption, but I forgot to bring it in here.
What if
we officially have our own dude?
Do you think they made that for you?
Yes. They heard our podcast. They reached out. We gave them permission. We said, yeah, it's fine, man. Go ahead and do it. There's a sis for you, bro.
Sis, that is sus.
Sus. There's friend. Come on, man.
I hope there's no dudes
Oh, if
in
there's
that
no
case.
dude in the what the don't
Another
there has
sis?
to be. Hey, homie.
Homie, I got a friend of mine. He calls everyone homie. What's up, homie? I'm gonna steal this.
You
and
can
bring
have
it to
that
him.
one. There's another homie. There it is.
The dude can.
The dude counter.
You got one.
The official Lou. Thank you from Stealth Strips. Give them a little reach out because if you're silent, if you have any gear that's making any noise at all,
You can wrap those cans with it.
34
Sorry, you're blowing your
milligrams
ears
of
out.
caffeine.
Dude, look at that.
That's weak.
I wanted one of those.
A dude?
I wanted a dude there, right there. There's our dude.
The dude abides.
Put on the left side. Put on the left side.
Left side?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go. Like our hair too high.
You can replace the hat. That's fine.
Okay, we're going to replace a hat. Left side, he said. There you go. There's our dude, official dude. Thank you, Lou. I wanted one of those.
Highlight of your day.
I
so
wanted
far.
one of those. PlotWatcher, Justin, I'll see if I can find a video for
So
that.
what I was saying is it would skip through like dead time, right? If there's nothing happening.
Yeah,
and
you could kill it.
And then there was like movement. It would skip forward to those sections. So you didn't have to watch the entire video. But the idea there was that you would begin to see patterns of like where deer would appear in a plot and where they would move and where they would go to. So where they were kind of coming in and out. Like the idea was that you would use it in a food plot because it really only worked, I think, well anyways in like an open area, a food plot or a field. But I remember, I think it was you, or maybe it was even me. I don't remember. We had one or you had one like that we put up like in a tree stand facing down.
Yes.
Like into the plot as if you were in the stand and just to get better vantage point and you could see the deer kind of moving all around. But like that fast forward motion of just seeing 2 weeks of deer pattern, you know, when they come out, where they pop out of, because there's a lot of, I think, misconceptions by all of us when we get a trail camera picture or video that we think we know where that deer came from.
Right.
You know, and watching those videos of a deer pop out over here. So like maybe we'd have a trail camera that we would check or a cell camera and we would have something in our mind that like that deer came out of there, hit this camera on the scrape and went over to here. And then you'd go watch the PlotWatcher video and you're like, holy crap, that deer actually came out completely on the other side of the plot and walked across and then came in this way. But I thought he was coming from over there. It turns out he was actually coming from over there. So,
I can't.
yeah, and now with all the AI technology of being able to like parse through and find like movement and you know figure out the difference between a deer or a squirrel, like you'd think somebody would get on that because that was a great product. The problem I had, mine still worked, but I didn't have the software on my computer anymore.
You
so
had to have the
couldn't
software
get
on
the
your computer and you couldn't get, make it work.
So I couldn't use the thing anymore. I think I chucked it in the trash.
I'm just telling you right now that because you didn't have to worry about motion. You know, you could, you know, sometimes, listen, the Revolver 360, excuse me, guys, can help solve some of that, but it still requires the deer to be able to hit a motion. The cool thing about the Revolver 360 is you're going to get at least all those sensors going all the way around the camera. So you're still likely to get
that helps you
information.
see things, beyond what triggered
the camera.
Correct.
Right. But that PlotWatcher gave you this, that it was like watching, dude, it was watching a motion picture of where they came from, how they moved, where they ate, and then where they exited. And that would allow you just to set up so much more effectively.
Yeah, I feel like you just got a lot more intel from that. But yeah, I'm definitely a summertime. I remember back in the day when I was young and didn't have anything better to do, I would go sit on a bean field and
that was always fun.
Get freaking
that was fun.
Eaten by mosquitoes and glass for bucks and walk around and try to film them and stuff. But I haven't done that in years. Yeah, and I'll probably never go back to doing that again. My time is very precious and sitting in a bean field in 90 degrees.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, dude, we just don't live like where we live and how we hunt is just different. I mean, if you lived, I suppose, in an area where you could just drive your truck up and pull over on the side of the road in glass with the spotting scope or some really high-powered binoculars or something like that, that'd be kind of cool and easy. Or if you could slip in.
Yeah.
But we just don't really have those areas around here, man. I mean, we just don't.
And any places that you can see from a road, the deer are not there for long. You know, they find those little dips in the field and those little back corners where nobody can see them, and that's where they focus their time. So, yeah, I'm a trail camera guy. I'm usually post 4th of July trail camera guy, so I'm a couple weeks away. It's probably time to start digging the cameras out, buying some new SD cards. I like to get some new ones every couple of years. I feel like they don't last forever, and there's nothing worse than putting a camera out and then having an SD card issue and having to go back. So I'm a new SD card guy every couple of years.
I've been doing a much better job throwing mine away. And in all of my non-cellular cameras, I like running 64 gig. Some of the cameras will accept 128 gig. I think the DS4Ks, you have to test it and try it. But I've been running 128 in those because if you're running a battery pack and you set those up and you get them set right, man, you can go 2-3 months, depending upon the amount of activity. I mean, if you got a water hole somewhere, there's just tons and tons of activity. Well, dude, you can eat up batteries because you're just getting some mega monster videos. But I love it, man. I mean, to this day, even Craig actually said to me, he's like, "Have you ever?" I think he was cranky with me. He's like, "Do you ever come to a property and not go touch a trail camera?" That's what he said to me on Father's Day.
He's got a point.
He does. I got a
He's
problem.
not wrong.
No, Craig, I'm sorry. You're not wrong. It's a real thing. It's an issue. But I like my trail cameras. They bring me happiness.
And we just want you to be happy, Todd.
Thank you,
That's
Justin.
all we want. That's all anyone
I like
wants.
my trail cameras.
Yes.
Well,
Ben wanted to know 2 things from us. Number 1, how often are you shooting your bow? Which I will tell you, not often enough. This weekend was the first time I had shot my bow since I killed my turkey a couple months ago. So
I brought my bow and I wanted to come out and shoot with you guys, but man, dude, it was
you just always got something to do.
no.
You just can't
were
take a
just
break.
yeah, dude. It was busy, man. You were over there messing
I was
around.
shooting my
freaking
bow
busy.
before anyone got there. Nobody was even around except our little group,
Oh man,
our boys.
we were shaking.
Here's what I said though when I was out shooting my bow. Anyone who thinks that a deer is ducking an arrow because of the sound of the bow is out of their mind and just needs to go stand next to an archery range when guys are launching arrows down range and listen to how loud those arrows are in flight. Right? You can hear the arrow so much better and is so much louder than the sound of the bow going off. It's not even close. But everybody was like, "Oh, your bow's too loud. The deer heard your bow go off." It's the arrow. I'm telling everybody, just go do it. Like, go listen to what an arrow sounds like when it's passing by you, and you will understand.
Is that something? What's Brandon up to over there?
What do you got, Brando?
So just looking at some data on like this. I'm curious the speed of sound versus the speed of an arrow. I'm assuming the speed of sound's much faster, but is it? 343 meters per second, so it's pretty fast.
Yeah, but what's your point?
Oh, I was just curious for myself whether the sound traveled faster, like the sound of the bow.
Yeah, but
Travel
so
faster
imagine this, right? Deer's out in a field,
Yeah.
hanging out, doing whatever it's doing, and you clapped your hands, or you made some sort of loud noise that would simulate the noise of a bow going off.
Mm-hmm.
You had a speaker, right? What would that deer's reaction be? Would it be to duck and run, or would it be literally to pick its head up? It's kind of like when a gun goes off, right? When a deer's out in a field and a gun goes off, most of the time they look, but they don't do the duck and twist and move and
They do that in
turn
response
inside
to the
out.
thing that they can hear coming closer.
Yes, because there's an arrow
Yeah.
going coming at them, and they can hear it, and they're trying to get out of the way because something is attacking them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was out at the club when guys were shooting, and
Were you like downrange? I mean, where were you at?
No,
to
dude,
hear
you don't
this?
have to be downrange, dude. They were shooting over on like the deck,
Oh,
and I was over by the 3D targets.
Yeah, I
to
can
the
see that,
side,
yeah.
right? And dude, every time somebody shot, you can hear them. You know, they sound like freaking little 747s flying through the air. But some of them you could tell were louder than others, which comes back to like the vane question, because I think vanes and broadheads are probably what's making that noise. You know, I know that the guys
versus feathers.
or just the vane design or the material that it's made out of, right? So if you look at like a tack vane, they're pretty stiff, whereas a lot of the AAEs are softer. They may have more flex. I don't know which is noisier. I haven't tested it. Yeah. You got different lengths. You got 2-inch like a blazer versus 2.75 or 3.5-inch like a tack or an AAE vane. So I don't know which one.
Comment below. Do you think it's the
quieter.
bows or do you think it's the arrows?
100%
Justin is
it's the
100.
arrow.
Whoa.
100%.
Justin's 100% all in arrows.
Well, I know the guys at Iron Will have done, I think, some testing on aerodynamics of arrow flight with different fletching sizes and stiffness and all sorts of things. I don't know if they've done anything on noise. I don't know. We got to look and see if anyone's
We're going to
done
have to
this.
look into this.
I'm just saying. That was my takeaway from shooting.
Well, I mean, I see what you mean, though. If you were standing in that platform versus where the people were up on, like, the deck system shooting.
Correct. They were shooting at the bags.
Yeah.
And I was over on the 3D side.
Yeah.
And I was, they were shooting and I was, they were shooting this way and I was like here.
Which way
so
was
I
the
could-
wind out of?
I don't know. Why do I couldn't smell the guys shooting if that's what you're asking.
No, but, like, when I wake up in the morning, I can hear I-90. I mean, so I'm just saying, like, the wind probably makes a difference, too, because it's going to carry that sound, or even if it's flying through the air.
Well, hopefully your wind isn't blowing towards what you're shooting at.
Sometimes it is. I mean, the deer are smart. Sometimes they get over there. Dude, it happens. Don't act like you're perfect. Like, every hunt is, like, just perfectly executed.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're saying exactly.
Well, you're saying
Todd
that
is
you-
correct.
What's that?
And just like the sound travels with wind are generally
Yeah,
heard
no, I
louder
know
from farther
that.
away. Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not shooting at a deer that's directly downwind to me
Downwind.
because it's already freaking snorted and ran away.
Maybe you got a dumb one.
I've got all my unfilled tags. Todd.
Based on Justin's unfilled tags, you can't even find a dumb one. So fair enough. Well, we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna keep on moving on here. Keep on moving on. Oh, Justin. Yes, you're right. Probably could shoot more, but I'm probably only doing 3 days a week, 10
I
minutes.
mean, that's still
That's pretty good, I would
you
say.
know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, this is easy for me because my bow sits right there. So when I let the dogs out, it's just so easy. It's all about convenience, right? Like for me, I can literally open up the back door of my garage. The dogs are going to the bathroom. I can grab my bow, and I have those targets set up. It's like bam, bam, bam. And I can shoot for like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Do like 9 arrows.
Yeah.
And it's fast and it's easy, and it just kind of keeps those reps.
Yeah.
up.
For sure.
You can tell these reps.
Oh,
I mean, look at that.
look at
I mean,
those.
dude.
It's your
That's-
back. It's your back, Todd.
I
The
know.
back
Well, I
muscles.
know. It's just the whole body. I was talking about the reps as a joke with exercise, but
Got it.
I got to work on
I
upper
will.
body.
I usually start shooting more in July. My schedule gets significantly
As,
less
as
busy.
we've heard twice now, Justin pretty much starts all of his hunting in July.
Yeah.
Trail
100%.
cameras,
Yeah, that's
shooting.
correct.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, mid-July, I'll start thinking about
I haven't
how I'm
stopped.
going to kill a deer.
Now, back to the trail camera thing, just for a second.
Okay.
I was talking to my buddy Paul and be like, hey, do you got any fawn, any twins?
Sure.
And he sent me a picture of his twins. And then I said, dude, my one fawn has twins, or my one doe has twins, but it's got a broken leg already.
R.I.P.
The doe or the fawn?
The fawn. I'll send you the video.
Maybe it'd be a non-typical. If it makes it.
If I can make it, dude. It looked like it was not having the best of time.
Fawn with a broken leg. Only the strongest survive, Todd.
Rear leg.
That deer's not long for this world.
No, I don't think
R.I.P.
so.
Todd's fawn.
Nature is metal.
Nature is metal.
Those are
Indeed.
some rough Instagrams to watch sometimes. You get those?
Of course. Is there anybody that doesn't watch Nature is Metal?
Those are tough. There's some tough ones. Tough. All right, Justin. This one's right up your alley.
Oh, great.
Spending a lot of time buck shaming people.
Buck shaming?
Yeah, it's on our list of things to discuss here. I mean,
I feel like buck shaming is one of those things that doesn't happen nearly as much as people like to talk about it happening.
It just takes that one time for it to like just bother
you've
you
never
so
said to some boy, man, I don't know if I had one more year, Justin.
What do you mean?
Just one
like
more
if
year.
I saw somebody shoot a deer,
Yeah, you're like, hey, Brandon.
I
That-
say
that
it
buck
every
just
year. My
needed
neighbors
one more
keep
year.
killing all of our good 3-year-olds, but I don't like. It is what it is. Like I
Right.
may personally be like, oh god damn it, not again. But like whatever. If it makes them happy, what do I care? I don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm
Can't
just
do much
saying, like,
about
there's
it.
this idea that like we can't recruit new hunters because we buck shame people too much. But I don't think that's a real thing. You know what I'm
think-
saying?
I don't think that's
my
really
that's my
happening.
point. Is like we talk about it being a thing, but I don't know, maybe it's happening and I just don't see it. I live in my little echo chamber of social media where I see like, Yeti vlogs, and I don't see buck shaming happening.
Yeah, I don't see
I don't
it.
know.
I don't see it too much.
Like,
either.
I'll buck shame my friends because that's
So
what
you
we
are
do to
doing
each
it.
other. Yeah, like
You've been buck shaming me my whole life. I feel like I got another 3.5-year-old. You've given me a hard time for shooting 3.5s for a long time.
Are you kidding me? That's all I shoot.
I'm just saying, you used to do it to me.
This is called busting
I used
balls,
to have better
Todd. If
luck.
you were a guy, you would understand.
Well, I'm not.
I know.
You ruined my good deer luck I had when you named my phone the Deer God.
It's been a while since you've killed a good 3-year-old. I think you've progressed beyond that.
Well, thank you, Justin.
I can't
Thank
really
you.
think of the last
Time.
good 3-year-old you shot.
He'll be this year now. It will
Hey,
happen.
there's nothing wrong with them. I always say, right? They're big enough to look good on the wall, but they're dumb enough for us to still be able to kill them pretty easily. You know? We just got to find one like that big 3-year-old Clinton kills, like 170. Most of mine are like 130, 135. I need a
kidding.
freak. I need a 173-year-old to kill. So if somebody's got one out there,
And you just don't care about that one.
the offer stands.
Yeah, give Justin a call, man.
Give me a holler.
Hook him up.
A shout,
Yeah,
a jingle.
I
Any
agree.
of those things.
Well, Justin,
Does shooting a cull buck help? I don't know. Help what? Help me fill a tag?
I don't know. That's. I feel like that's been kind of a controversy for a while. I mean, people basically just saying.
I think it's been proven statistically it doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're in a controlled, like, fenced environment, it's not going to do you any good. Right. A lot of people always lose sight of the fact that deer has two parents, a buck and a doe. Half of its genetics come from its mom, right? And you have no idea of knowing if her antlered genetics are good or not good, right? But that's where a lot of the selective breeding that they do in these high fence areas, they do know that and can control for that. And that's partially how they get these giant bucks. But like in the wild, like it's kind of like shooting coyotes, right? Didn't we say you're just pissing in the wind?
No, it makes me feel better.
Well, shooting cull. I don't even what defines
It
a
makes
cull
me feel
buck.
better.
What's a cull buck? Like,
Well, I think most people would define that as maybe it having an antler set that isn't like let's talk about
is there a number,
no,
like a
let's-
score?
I don't necessarily think so. Let's talk about Kurt's goat buck that he got from last year with those eyes. Looks up at him like that, and that thing was just a spike, and it was like a 7-year-old deer.
Okay,
I mean,
that's a pretty good example. But how many? Like, I'm not sure I've ever seen one like that before. That's like it's a good illustration of what we're talking about, but I think
right.
it's a poor real world example because I've been hunting a long time, and so have you. How many of those have you ever seen? That's the only one I've ever seen. Maybe one other one that I can think
there
of.
might have been a few others. I had
It's
one on my
very
one
rare,
farm
though.
that was like a fork, and
Yeah.
that fork just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, almost for like 4 years worth. Not sure what happened to him last year. Maybe I do have a picture of him still. I'll have to go back and check. But
either which way, like, what defines really a quote unquote
and what is
cull
it going to
buck?
do by knocking him out? I mean, obviously, what's the goal? The goal is to knock the call box so he doesn't go breed and pass those genetics that aren't as superior as the buck with a bigger rack.
Yeah, but then we're trying to kill the one with the bigger rack instead of letting him go breed more and more and more.
True.
So it's a bit.
I always let him breed
counterintuitive.
first.
Oh, you do? You check with him first. Excuse me, sir. How many does have you impregnated?
Oh boy, this is one that is definitely turkey poults. Dude, I don't got nothing this
I
year.
got no
so far.
cameras out, so
I do. I
couldn't
got
tell
a
you.
lot. And I usually got one group, and I don't. I need to start doing my job.
What's that? What's the job?
Well, just
Coons and possums.
yeah,
That job.
yes.
Got it.
I need to do a better job, especially with the coons. I don't see as many possums, but coons, I mean, they're everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of coons at the water holes, driving around. I see a lot of coons. I need to do a better job with that because just no one traps for them anymore because their pelts just aren't worth anything anymore. So very few people are just they're not doing it. So, and if you're a turkey, man, you're sitting on the nest with those eggs. Gosh, whew. That's a tough life. I mean, just think about all the things that want to eat you when you are a poult on the ground.
A lot of things. Coons.
Everything.
Coyotes,
birds,
foxes.
coyotes, foxes.
Yeah, birds of prey.
Oh, dude, you're talking a tough life. Even when you're still in the egg, it's tough. We got to get that video from Kurt. I think Kurt's got a video where he found a turkey nest and he put a trail camera on it. And sure enough, coons found it. That sucks.
Maybe they found it because they smelled his camera.
It's not possible. Brought the
them.
attention to it. Yeah, blame Kurt.
So it's Kurt's fault.
No, probably
He set him up.
There's probably that could be like animal harassment. He'll probably get a ticket now or something out of us.
Think so?
Bringing it to I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I did take my camera and point it towards a wood duck box though.
Okay.
You know, 'cause I always think it's just amazing when those little ducks come flying out of the boxes and hit the ground. I always thought that was just like pretty cool that they just know it's time.
I mean, you stuck your phone in there. I remember seeing a picture.
Yeah.
Do you have a video of them coming out now?
I did. I took those ridiculous industrial cameras on my building that had the 22x zoom. I zoomed in on the wood duck box, and sure as shit, did you see the hen come out? And then, dude, it's not. I mean, I watched a lot of video. I mean, I was just like every night, like, okay, it's got to happen soon. and then finally,
what a life we live.
And then finally, dude, pew pew pew. I'll try to get that video so people can watch it too. I just think that's cool. I just think it's cool as hell. So I'll get to that stuff.
I agree. All right, our last topic, Todd. Any big gear upgrades for this year or changes for this year? I don't know, man. I feel like I'm finally dialed in with a system, and I don't want to change anything. Is that bad?
I don't think so. I think that's what happens after time and experience and really just honing in your stuff. I mean, it's funny you should bring that up because I think Paul and I were talking about this the other day. I mean, there's even been times in my life where I've thought I had something better, but then you find yourself 2 years later resorting back.
Oh, yeah. You change to something new because you think it's going to be better for some reason.
And then after really putting it to the test, you're like, you know what? That other thing really wasn't so bad. Let's see here.
Grass is always greener on the other side of the fence.
I kind of feel like you. I feel like my stuff is really dialed in right now. And I love that feeling. I mean, the feeling of just knowing what I got. I mean, even for my saddle stuff, I'm not as good as you. I need some improvement on the saddle stuff. And I was paying a little bit more attention during the teach and train, just looking at some of Ted's stuff that he brought and just looking at what other people are doing.
Ted is a saddle hunting maniac. He's got all the gear. He's got her dialed in.
Dude, he's diehard, and he shoots some great deer, man. I mean, he's good. He's a good hunter. I still could use some work and some effort there, and I find myself being even more interested in saddle hunting the older I get. Justin, I was talking to somebody about this at the teach and train. Dude, it's a lot of work. Even when you're on your own property and you have those fixed stands, dude. Sometimes it's just nice to have trees prepped, ready to go, that just require a little less maintenance,
sure,
a little less scent. You're not going in there and trimming out as much. You're not checking them. You know it's there. You're eyeballing it. I find myself doing that a lot more nowadays, where if I'm on the tractor, I'm buzzing around, I see something, I'm like, that could work. I find myself a lot more stopping, getting out, eyeballing up the tree, in my brain thinking like, okay, if I did slip in here at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning to set up for a saddle hunt, what would it look like? I may go to the bottom of the tree and just, get rid of a couple little things so that I know I can weasel my way up in there, pretty easily and safely. And then just kind of get an idea of like where my shots are going to be. And then, the big thing with saddle hunting, I think always is where are you going to set that platform where you're expecting your shot to be? Because, you definitely want to figure out where that main shot's going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, as well as I do, it doesn't always happen that way.
I know, but I don't. But
But you got to try.
Yeah.
You got to have your plan.
But I like that than always just having stand after stand after stand, because it never fails, dude. There's times when I've hung stands and sets, and it's like you end up maybe killing out early or whatever, and now it sits for another year.
There's nothing worse than hanging a stand
and never hunting it.
And then going back and pulling it down 2 years later. And then when I get there, I think to myself, what the hell was I thinking when I put this thing here? This is the dumbest spot. You ever do that?
Yes.
Hang a stand? Or even like when I hang it, I'll get up into it and I'll be like, this is stupid in a dumb spot.
I've
And
got
then I
two
pull it
that
down
got to
and
come
leave.
down right now. I got
That
two
is
of
the
them.
worst. And you just never even hunt them. Not one time.
Nope. Dumb. But that's
I
part of
thought
the
maybe I
learning.
was the only idiot that did that.
No.
So gear changes. I probably will give the new 2-panel saddle a try just for the heck of it. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know that I'm going to like it better than my Ultra Lock, but I'm going to try it just to see.
Okay.
Brando, I got some new Broadheads right there, right on the table in front of you. I'm going to give these guys a whirl. They just came in the
Whoa.
other day. The deep cut, single bevel, fixed blade.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this guy a try this year. I usually keep mechanicals and fixed blades in my quiver because I'm that kind of guy. I could just never make up my mind. So from hunt to hunt, I usually just grab a different arrow out of my quiver. So maybe I'll have 2 fixed blades and 3 mechanicals or something like that in there. So they came out with that one last year. But
I was gonna say.
This is the single bevel version of
Yeah.
it. Last year was the dual bevel. One bevel is better than 2, apparently. You want fewer bevels. We should have a no bevel broadhead. Unbeveled.
But this looks tough, dude. I mean, this is like I mean, this looks.
Yeah, I'll be whacking some fawns with that thing for sure. It'll slice through them like a knife.
I'll
Hot
believe
knife
it.
through butter.
I'm gonna believe it when I see it.
Hot knife through butter.
I'll
right
believe
there.
it when I see it.
This is going to be on the end of my Easton 5.0, so I guess that's another change for this year. Shooting 5.0s.
Yeah, I'm getting mine set up right now.
I went to a 300 spine instead of a 340. So I increased my spine a little bit and then added a little bit of weight up front. But I should still end up in like 450-ish grains, which is right where I like to be. So I think feeling good about that arrow setup. I just need to build them and shoot my bow.
But you said July is the time.
July is the time. Yeah,
July is the
baseball's
time.
going to be just about ended. Football practice starts, but I'm not coaching this year, so I don't have to do anything. Just drop the kids off and pick them up when it's over. So my life gets
And
a
work
lot
more.
easier.
Thank you. And he said he's going to work more too, guys. Did
Yeah,
you hear that?
I'll be working by shooting my bow and
He's
creating
gonna work more.
wonderful content for the folks out there to consume. Because, I was thinking the other day.
You're
you know,
behind on content.
Well,
Yeah,
just
I
the
agree with
world
that.
needs more content. I was like, God, there's like nothing to watch, nothing to listen to.
I need something good to watch. I'm jumping on an airplane. I got nothing downloaded. You got anything? You guys watching anything?
I don't watch anything other than Cubs games.
Nothing? Oh, man, I'm dying.
I just watch comedy, so that's such a hard hit or miss thing.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me, what's the new John Hamm show?
John Hamm.
Friends, something with friends and something. They live in a neighborhood, a bunch
I
of
don't know.
rich people.
Watching
They're all wife
AP
swapping
bio.
and stuff.
AP bio.
Oh, I'll tell you what I did watch, which was pretty good, and I can't think of the name of it. I think it's called Friends and Neighbors.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Friends.
That's
and
it.
Dude, it's good. I watched it.
That's the show. That's John Hamm.
Yeah, it's a good show. I already watched it.
Oh,
I need something new.
You got too much time on your hand if you're
Good
watching
show.
these shows. When the hell am I going to do this? When? I have zero time to watch
You have to.
anything.
You got to extend your day. You got to get more hours out of the day, bro. I get up early.
So do I.
You got to get up earlier.
I get up earlier and watch Friends and Neighbors. That's what I'm doing at 5 a.m.
You got to spend some time with Amy watching these movies.
Disney
10 o'clock
Plus
at night.
Andor.
Andor's good. I watched.
I got to go to sleep so I can get up early.
I've watched Andor.
You don't stay up late. You go to bed at like 9 o'clock. What is this?
Today was one of those powerhouse days. Man, I got up like just super early. And I was just like on it, man. I got more done between like 4:50 and 7:15 today. I was on fire. But it's also because I have to catch an airplane. So I think that may have added some fuel to the
Yeah,
fire.
I'm
but
curious. I imagine that our audience probably leans towards the getting up early, very early in the morning crowd versus the people that maybe I associate with that are the staying up late crowd. But
used
I
to be
would like
that
to.
guy.
I would like to argue or see what people think, because I feel like in the hours after you guys go to bed, I get as much done after that as you guys get up before I. You know what I mean? Like I do the same amount of work, but it's just later. You guys do in the morning.
it may be. Listen, I think there's morning people. I think there's evening people. But the one thing I will say, and I screwed up on this. I really did. It was my fault. And this is what I was talking about the other day. We had that teaching train go from 10 to 3. That was dumb.
Oh,
It should have been from. It should have honestly. It should have been from 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Dude, hunters are early birds, and if there's anything I've learned from that pheasant hunting club that we got out there, dude,
Guys like
people
to get
want
up
to
and
get
go.
up, grab their coffee, slip out the door, The wives are still sleeping. Kids are still in bed unless they're grabbing one of them and bringing with.
Yep.
They want to get buzzing in there at 7:15, 7:30. They hit the Starbucks or the McDonald's, whatever they're hitting on the way there. Get there, and they want us to be ready. They want to get out. They want to hunt, have a nice little 2-hour deal, and get home.
And they got stuff to do.
Right.
I got stuff to do.
Right. And I just, because I mean, we even saw it at the teaching train, dude, at 10 o'clock, it was mobbed.
Yes.
I mean, it was like,
Yeah, it
there
was a
wasn't
lot of
enough
people.
posts on that thing. It was just like,
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah, somehow I got up there and started demonstrating. I don't even know how it happened. All of a sudden, I'm in a
you were
saddle
working
on
it.
the tree.
I saw you. You were working
and I
it.
was showing people what's up. I was like, follow me for more tips and advice on saddle hunting, being a bro.
It was a good event. So, with that being said, guys, I gotta go.
You should read a book instead of watching something. When's the last time you read a good book?
Like audio counts, right?
No. I mean, maybe. I guess it's better because you still got to kind of use your imagination and listen, and it's not just mindless watching. of
Dude, I'm more
things.
about the self-help books.
Okay, well then I don't care. Then get a good one of those.
Those don't need your imagination as much, I don't think.
Well, they make you introspective, and you're thinking about your
you
life
gotta
while you're
think,
reading it.
Yeah, how you're going to apply that information.
Well,
Did you read those Jocko books I told you to read? Probably not.
I wrote them down.
You should do that.
I started with
I
one of them.
bought this book on how to stop procrastinating.
Hey, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
All right, guys.
You should
comment
read
below.
The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. That's what you should read on the plane or listen to. Get
Text
it on
me.
audiobook.
Text me real quick, will you? So I don't forget that.
Okay,
Text me.
got it.
All right, guys. Until next time, do not listen to Justin. Get your bow out. Start
Do not
shooting.
listen.
Get your trail cameras out. You don't have to follow him.
Thanks.
I
homie.
have been active, and it is going to pay off. But I still have a feeling Justin will shoot a bigger buck than me in Kansas.
I gotta find. Oh, that one. Oof.
What's wrong?
Jay-Z has never killed an out-of-state buck before.
But that's what's going to make it fun, dude. Having that challenge is cool, dude. I listen. I'm jealous, and it's cool. I'm actually working on. I'm
Yeah,
working
my
on something like
hopes-
that too.
My hopes for that are about 3%.
I don't know, dude. I think you're going to do better than that.
You got this, homie.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, sis.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. All right. With that being said, I got to go pack and get ready for my airplane.
Sounds good.
So,
Young Ben's gonna host with me next week in your absence. It's gonna be riveting. Look
sounds
out.
good.